You're here with Sarah Nash and my lovely partner,
Nicole Atala.
hey, Nicole. And we're going to talk to you today about a fun update that came out of the FTC. You all might have seen this in the headlines. The FTC recently issued their final rule, which has placed a ban on non-competes, a big historic event. But we're here to tell you about some of the highlights. Nicole, can you kick it off with like what people should really know about this rule coming out?
Sure. So, the ban was, or the anticipation of the ban is not new, right? We knew that the FTC was considering this. It was, they have a lot of data on how much this is going to increase wages and allow for mobility of employees. And that's why, the Biden administration, not just with the FTC, but in other agencies as well, has been exploring how they effectively ban these things. It's a very broad ban. It covers all non-competes, basically.
Like I love a good fun.
Yeah. Little FTC humor. So it does ban all non-competes with very few exceptions. Our read of the rule would still allow non-solicitation provisions and confidentiality provisions to remain effective for most employees. Again, those are going to be subject to state law. California doesn't like non-solicitation provisions, so it's not like you can circumvent state law here. You still have to think about state law, and those provisions still have to be narrowly tailored. The comments and the rule basically say that your non-solicitation provisions and confidentiality provisions cannot effectively prevent somebody from going to another company to work. Okay, so there's a silver lining, because in government contracting, we never really advise clients to have broad non-competes anyway. It was kind of like, you can't go to work for our competitor to provide the same, but in the same seats, right? The same or similar services. So we effectively had a type of non-solicitation provision as well. It's not going to help government contractors with this whole concept of, another company swooping in to get your key personnel, because that'll give them a competitive advantage on the next contract. That's kind of the point, people. From the FTE's position, that would give an employee a good negotiating position to raise their own wages, right? So that's kind of right in line with what the FTC is trying to do here. It also does not prohibit franchise or non-competes, which I think is interesting. It doesn't prevent bona fide non-competes in sales of businesses, and it does not touch, senior executives. And those senior executives are defined very narrowly. Senior executives make over $151,000 in change a year in total compensation, and they have to be basically the final decision maker of policy decisions, right, Sarah?
Yeah, we're thinking of basically the president, the CEOs, those top tier folks. We got a lot of clients, Nicole, who are reaching out saying, okay, they're banned. What do we do now? Do we have to revamp our entire set of agreements? Like, kind of in a panic. What have you been telling those folks?
I'm telling people not to change anything just yet. Already, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and other businesses have filed lawsuits in Texas asking for a court to intervene. The precipice of the primary legal arguments in those cases revolve around the FTC's authority to promulgate and enforce rules, right? And rulemakings. This is the first time, I think, Sarah, that the FTC has engaged in rulemaking. And the argument there is that the FTC can basically break up anti-competitive type policies, but it can't necessarily make its own policies. So we'll see where those lawsuits go. It's also not effective just yet, right? So we have 120 days from the day the rule was published before this goes into effect. And a lot's likely to happen in those 120 days. So be ready. It's a good time to look at your language, figure out how it might impact you, what employees might take this as a sign that they should start shopping around. There are other things that you can try to do to discourage people from jumping ship, but it really is going to take a restructuring of how you approach the carrots and the sticks to keep people on board.
Sure. And just keep in mind that this is not unique. There are a lot of states out there that have also already substantially limited companies' abilities to, limit employees' movement through non-competes. So we've been seeing that it's sort of just part of the trend.
Yep, absolutely. So more to come. We'll keep you updated as things progress, but a good time to plan, not panic.
And not panic. Have a great week, everyone.